Hey, hello family. Darrell Nichols here again. I was just checking out the news, and I don't know if you've heard about this yet, but if you haven't, I've got to share it with you. This is urgent, pressing information. You see, what happened was there was this mouse that was living in a house, and one day the mouse was looking through a little crack in his little mouse hole, and he saw that the farmer and his wife were there with a package. Now, the mouse was thinking, I'm wondering what kind of goodies they've got in there for me. Wasn't that way at all. As it turns out, the farmer pulled out the little box, and inside that box there was a mouse trap. Well, the mouse got very, very excited, as you can imagine. So the first thing he thought about doing was he would run out and warn his friends out in the barn. So the mouse makes his way to the barn, and the first person he ran into was his friend, the chicken. And the mouse says, hey, Mr. Chicken, check this out, man. There's a mouse trap in the house. There's a mouse trap in the house. They done brought a mouse trap in the house. Well, the chicken looked at the mouse and said, maybe you didn't notice this, Mr. Mouse. All right, but look, I'm a chicken. Okay, you're a mouse. It's a mouse trap, not a chicken trap. It doesn't affect me, but I understand where you're coming from, but it's not my problem, bro. So the mouse is very disappointed, but he went to talk to his next friend, and the next one was the pig. And so the mouse said, hey, look here, Mr. Pig. We go back a long way, but I just came here to warn you about something, man. They done brought a mouse trap in the house. Man, there's a mouse trap in the house. Did you hear what I said? There's a mouse trap in the house. The pig looked at that little mouse and said, well, look here, little bro. Maybe you didn't notice, but I'm a pig. I'm a big pig, all right? Little mouse trap is not going to affect my life. I can see why you're upset, but this is not my problem, man. It sounds like a mouse problem, not a pig problem. So you can go on with that. The mouse was disappointed again. He said, well, I'm going to try another friend. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to talk to my friend, the cow. Because me and the cow, we like tight. We tight. He'll get it. He'll get it. So he goes down, hey, look here, Mr. Cow. These fools done brought a mouse trap up in the house. There's a mouse trap in the house. There's a mouse trap in the house. The cow looked down at that mouse and said, for real, you coming to me about a mouse trap. Maybe you didn't notice this little mouse, but I'm a big cow. Mouse trap is really no threat to me. Alright. I can see why you're concerned. I can see why you're upset. Alright, but look, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. But I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We having a meeting down at the Moose Lodge. They bringing the cows in. So I'm gonna get the brothers all together and we're gonna pray for you. Alright. One of the mouses, again, really discouraged, really upset. None of his friends was listening. Well, later on that night, the mouse is back into the house, and around about midnight, he heard a. He peeked through the hole. He saw the farmer's wife springing out of the bed. She didn't even bother turning on the light. She just began feeling up under the bed to feel and see what she caught. What she didn't realize was she had the tail of a snake that was caught in the trap. And when she went in there reaching around, that snake just kind of whipped around and bit her in the hand. Well, the farmer took her to the hospital right away. The doctor gave her a shot, sent her home, thinking she would be all right, not sure what kind of snake it was. No, it wasn't what he thought. The following day, she continued to get ill, and she developed a fever. So the farmer picked up the phone, he called the doctor, told him what was going on, and the doctor says, the best thing for a fever right now for your wife is some chicken soup. So you know what the farmer did? He started sharpening his knife, went out to the barn, got that chicken, cut his head off, made a big old pot of chicken soup. And the mouse sat there and he just watched the whole thing. He said, I tried to warn that chicken. It wouldn't listen. Well, a day or two later, she continued to get worse in her health. So friends and family started to come over to comfort her. And then the farmer noticed all these people in his house, and his wife couldn't cook, so he had to feed them. He had some skills. So he said, you like barbecue? You like barbecue? You like barbecue? All right. That's right. He started sharpening his axe. And he went out to the barn and he got that pig. They had barbecue spare ribs, pork ribs that night. And the mouse watched the whole thing, and he's thinking to himself, I tried to warn that pig. He wouldn't listen. Well, a few days later, the farmer's wife died. There was a funeral. Friends and everybody came over to the house afterwards, and of course, when you got a big funeral, you got to feed everybody. Yeah, you know it. He sharpened up that axe again. He went back out to the barn, and he got that cow, and he slaughtered it to feed all the people for the funeral. And that little mouse sat there, and he watched the whole thing. And he said, I tried to warn them. I tried to warn them all. But they just wouldn't listen. I told them there was a mouse trap in the house. I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Yeah, it was just a mouse trap. And everybody thought it only would affect the mouse. As it turned out, the whole barn was affected. Let there be a moral for us today. Whether it be Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, everybody in the farm, everybody in the barn can be affected. It didn't have to happen. So the mouse wanted me to come by and let you know. It's too late for his friends. It's not too late for us. And make no mistake about it. There is a mouse trap in the house. Dr. King, if he were here today, he might remind us that we either go up together as brothers and sisters, or like the barn, we perish together as fools. Those fools are all gone. What you want to do? You can ignore me if you want to. You can ignore that mouse if you want to. I wouldn't advise it. Y'all go on. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, you know what? In spite of the fact that that trap cost the farmer the life of his wife, you know, that fool never did get rid of that trap. Imagine that. I wonder if we caught now. I'll be right back. They don't listen.